really matters on the local level, because if you can't get that host agreement, you can't start your process. You can't go to the state and start the application. So it starts at the local level, and it should be a more transparent process, because when I tried to go and get it through the city of Brockton, it wasn't out on their website that they were allowing applications itself for marijuana. It was just more so if you knew, you knew, and if you didn't, oh well.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Different Leaf, a show for new and experienced cannabis consumers. I'm Britt Smith. Whether you buy your weed from the illicit market or you have a favorite legal source, you've got to admire any entrepreneur who chooses to get into marijuana. And if you are buying through legal dispensaries, statistics show that it's overwhelmingly likely, like 90%, that you're buying from a business that's owned and run by white men. So when I learned about the first Black woman to open a cannabis business on the East Coast, I knew that we had to hear her story. This week, we're talking to Vanessa Jean-Baptiste, a first-generation Haitian-American who was born and raised in Brockton, just south of Boston, and is now the president of Legal Greens Marijuana Dispensary in her hometown of Brockton, Massachusetts.
Hello.
Hi. It's so nice to meet you. Congratulations, first off, on opening Legal Greens. First thing I really want to know about you is your personal connection to cannabis. What's your connection to the plant?
So cannabis, my connection to that is I've always been a cannabis fanatic, I guess you could say. And then when it became legal in Massachusetts to do medical, I looked into the process with that. That was a $500,000 asset to start the process. And obviously I did not have that or knew anybody that had the financial means. So when recreational was an option, I definitely looked into it. I definitely went to their meetings with the CCC and their outreach on talking to the community. And they seemed like they wanted a real equitable stance on the process. So when they brought out the economic empowerment application, I applied for it and I received it in April of 2018. And once I received it, I started the process on opening a dispensary and soon cultivation and delivery and all of that jazz.
What a long road. Wow. Well, what was the process like for you getting from, 2018 when you were first applying up until the doors opened last month?
A long, hard road. Honestly, I wanted to do it in my hometown of Brockton, and that was a process that was excruciating. Literally, when I got my economic empowerment status, I started to go through the city, and first I was told that I couldn't do it and that he already gave the host agreements to other people because Brockton only wanted a certain limit. But he had actually gave it to people that were his campaign donors and friends. So he had unfortunately passed away. And when he passed away, a new mayor came in, which was the first African-American mayor in Brockton. And he strictly opened it for social equity and economic empowerment. And then from that, I applied and I got the host agreement. And from then on, we just started the process to open our retail store.
Wow, so the blockade to getting the host to community agreement from the first mayor was really just about not having that network and connection of knowing him outside of the political office.
Basically.
Wow.
Or having the financial means to get him to be on your side.
There's obviously so much that needs to change about the way that many states, including Massachusetts, are doing the processing system of picking who gets to have a license to open a cannabis business. Because when it's kind of at the local level like that, this is the second instance now, at least, that I've heard of in Mass where there's some sort of
politics.
Some sort of politics that are ruling the whole thing. The other place that I'm thinking is Fall River, where the mayor there was involved in something kind of similar. Like he was picking who would get cannabis licenses based on who would give him money.
Basically, yeah.
Tell me about the day that you first got the go-ahead from the Cannabis Control Commission to open? Because it seems like that was a really long road to get there.
Yeah, that was exciting. When we did our inspections and they told us that we passed and they gave us once we get this email, then we'll be able to open, and they gave us the whole rundown. I really, in my mind, I didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but it really happened. Like within a week, we were able to open, and that was amazing. That was amazing. Amazing feeling. Because to go through all of that, to not giving up, to be able to open, and to be the first one to open in Brockton. It's not just to be able to open, but all the other people that the mayor had given host agreements to, we were actually able to open before everyone else. So that was like the icing on the cake, because it was like we did all of this. We stood there, we got spit on, we got thrown down, but we got back up and we were able to be the first one. So yes, karma.
Fantastic. Wow, amazing. So who do you now have on your team, and where did they come from before they were in cannabis?
So I have Mark and Mike. Mark Bouquet, he was a manager at Walgreens for 15 years, and then he actually quit Walgreens to start doing the cannabis entrepreneuring thing. And he was the one that actually came to me with that idea, and the idea seemed sweet. So I was like, okay, let's go about it. And then from our journey, we met Mike Maloney, who is an attorney, and he deals with cannabis, and he actually does expungements, and he was doing like a seminar on, I guess, like the gray market and what to do and what not to do. And Mark had just happened to go to that store, and he met Mike, and then from then on, it was smooth sailing, because when we got together, I interned for Mike, and yeah, we just became friends, and now we own a business together.
So what was your background before all of this?
I have a criminal justice degree. I went to school in Bridgewater State, so I was more so in the criminal justice field. I did like caseworking, and I did probationary work and stuff. So I know how it is in the criminal aspect of it. So to be in the marijuana industry, it's more so to help the community and not to be affected by the war on drugs, because it's not fair what's going on when people in certain communities are criminalized for it and other people are praised for having a business.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of gatekeeping that seems to be going on, and that's sort of problematic. I mean, we always talk about what worries us in the industry, like the concerns that we have. But I want to know what excites you about the industry and what you're looking forward to and what you see is good that's on the horizon here in Mass.
I'm excited to just grow our business, not just to have a retail, but to do cultivation, to do manufacturing, to do delivery, and then to just repeat it all over again in a different state. I want to be able to grow in this industry and to show that people like us are able to be in an industry like this and dominate, not just take a little piece of the pie, but be able to have like a big standing in this industry.
Just popping in to remind you to give us a follow on social media at Different Leaf, and why not treat yourself to 4 issues of our beautiful magazine for $20. You can find us at differentleaf.com. That's differentleaf.com. There seems to be so many barriers. Obviously, as the first Black woman to open a cannabis business on the East Coast, you've made some history here. But what do you think really needs to change to allow more Black people the opportunity to get into the industry? Do you think it's at the local level or sort of more at the national level?
I feel it is at the local level, because national, you can make regulations and whatnot, just like the CCC did, but it really matters on the local level, because if you can't get that host agreement, you can't start your process. You can't go to the state and start the application. So it starts at the local level, and it should be a more transparent process, because when I tried to go and get it through the city of Brockton, it wasn't out on their website that they were allowing applications itself for marijuana. It was just more so if you knew, you knew, and if you didn't, oh well. And that's not fair. It shouldn't be like that. And even with the whole going through the city process on trying to get a city permit, that was excruciatingly hard. And it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't be like that. And that deters so many people trying to do that because you know that you're not wanted. And they're showing you without showing you that you're not wanted. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah. I mean, you're broken some barriers now, and hopefully more people will be able to cross over that bridge because of, how hard you guys have pushed for this. What kind of blockades did you particularly face with the Cannabis Control Commission? Was there any sort of slow rolling of things at that level?
No, I can't say I had no blockade with them. It was more so, fix this problem, fix this issue, and if you didn't fix it, that's more on you because they gave you strict instructions on how to fix it. Very transparent, very easy to come into contact, easy to talk to other people. If I emailed them, I would get a response back. If they didn't have the answer, they'll connect me to somebody else that will give me the answer. I have no complaints with the CCC. When it comes to the local level, I could give you a list. But the CCC, zero.
That's really good to hear. That's actually a first. How has business been since you guys have opened now? How long have you been open? Almost a month now?
Over a month.
So you were open for the 420 celebration. How was it?
That was good. A good amount of people came by. It wasn't bad.
Is it a lot of local people, or do you find that you get a lot of folks that are traveling from far away?
It's a little bit of both, which is pretty crazy. There's people that come from North Carolina, California that say that they heard about the first Black woman and they wanted to come visit. And then there's local people, and then there's people in Western Mass that come. It's a whole collective of people. And then there's people that come every day consistently and say, I love this place. I want to support. I don't want to go anywhere else. It's an amazing feeling to be loved by local community.
And a community from afar. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear that they're traveling from afar. When we first had the first recreational shop open out here in November 2018? I went to cover that opening as well. And people had driven I was surprised to hear that as far as New York, but then I started to meet people that had come from Florida, and they'd driven all the way up. And I was like, I'm not going to ask you if you're going to drive back over the state lines or if you're smoking at a motel, because there's really no laws for people who drive from far away to come here and enjoy their cannabis here. So, I mean, I'm really hoping to see some social consumption spaces open up to allow more people from nearby states to come and enjoy what we've got here in Massachusetts, because I know it's a slow grow, but we are kind of getting there.
And then there's people that come here and say that they're chefs and that they do infused stuff, and they've always been doing infused. So it's there's people that come here and just kind of solicitate themselves, and it's why not put you guys on this team, because you're already doing it and we just need to make it in a legal aspect. Yeah. And I want to help people that want to be in this market.
Are a lot of people starting to approach you to sort of join forces?
Yeah. We've gotten that too. A lot of people want to collab and do some work with us.
I bet they do. That's cool. That's great. So what is on the horizon for Legal Greens? What do you guys have coming up?
We are actually starting to go through the process with delivery, since we're allowed to do that as economic empowerment applicants, and then start our manufacturing and cultivation soon.
Wow, are you guys going to be able to do delivery for rec?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. How far out will you deliver?
As far as we can. We could just deliver within Massachusetts. So if someone wants it all the way in Western Mass, we could make that a possibility.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Are you partnering with anybody to do that?
We have prospects that are talking to us, and we're looking at it as a business aspect to see what is beneficial for Legal Greens in the longer run.
That's really awesome. I'm way beyond excited for that, because I want to try different places, but it's such a long drive to go there. And honestly, it sort of worries me to drive back, because I buy large amounts of flour whenever I go somewhere. So I love a delivery service. I can't wait for that. That's dope.
sit at home, and get all the products that you want.
Yeah, and it's summertime, so like I would love to just in the middle of my barbecue, like get on an app and order some weed